Greetings, everyone. Happy Tuesday. It is your host, the Angriest Man in Orlando, saying once again, how are you? We're going to give it a few minutes just to let the notifications go in and make sure everybody gets notified that we are live. We're running a few minutes later than normal, but, nobody's perfect. Anyway. So we're just going to give it a few minutes just to get everyone live, notified. So it's July 9th, a couple days after the 4th of July. Hopefully everyone still has their appendices. Heard a story about a guy in North Carolina who was having a little too much fun, drank a little too much, decided to put a firework on his head. I believe he was wearing a hat at the time, but damn thing went off. Blew part of his skull off, I believe. And in front of everybody. So that was just a shame that happened. Wild. Must have been a wild video to watch. But I guess those things happen. All right. So we're a couple minutes into the show, so we're going to kind of get started. If you're joining late or rewatching this, just hang on for the ride. All right, so this is the Angriest Man in Orlando. This is my channel. I do several videos on this channel. Do our Tuesday meetup. We get to talk about what we're angry about, what kind of stuff's going on in the world, how we can prepare for it. So we are live on Rumble, YouTube, and my Twitter, or X. I guess you call it X now. Most people remember Twitter, so it's easier that way. So if you're watching on one of those channels, great. Stay tuned. But unfortunately, after this show today, I am going to be no longer doing live on YouTube. I'm actually going to just start doing clips on YouTube. So that YouTube channel for the Angriest Man in Orlando will become basically a clip channel. So little stories that I do, little anecdotes and stuff. I'll clip it from the video and I'll put it over there on YouTube. And if you want to watch the full video, jump over to Rumble or my X account, and you'll be able to watch the full video there. The reason I'm doing this is YouTube is not the friendliest with some creators, and I don't know if I'm one of them or not, but it doesn't seem to be promoting a whole lot on YouTube. So since that is not really a factor anymore of putting the shows on YouTube for the Angriest Man, I'm gonna just kind of vacate the space and just put just the clips. So you can just watch the quick clips, and if you want to watch the rest of whatever the topic was or the rest of the show and see what was going on, you can do that. So what do I do if I'm on YouTube and watching you? Okay, so what you can do is you can download the Rumble app on your phone, or as I do it right off my TV. I love it from my TV. A lot of creators don't think there's a lot of people watching from TV, but from what I'm seeing on some of the statistics and stuff, there's actually quite a bit of audience that watches from TV. I think it's just a lot easier than watching on your phone. The screen's a lot bigger. If people do a read along of an article or they're trying to show something in detail, it's a lot easier to watch it on your big screen and follow along versus on your phone and you're trying to like zoom in and zoom out and stuff like that. So if you have a Roku TV, if you have a smart TV, if you just have the Roku, or I believe the Fire Stick might even still have it, just go into where you usually download your apps from and type in Rumble, and Rumble should appear. There's one working and one non-working app. For some reason, they've got to get it down. But watch us on the Rumble app, on your TV, on your phone. Pull up the X account, the Angriest Man in Orlando, and watch from there. So YouTube will just be the clips and highlights. And if YouTube brings in an audience, then I might go back to just putting the whole show back on there. But so that'll start next week, where YouTube will not be live. It'll just be clips. So take the time to download however you want to watch it. All right, let's get into it. Kind of did somewhat of a topic tonight. Wasn't really sure what to do, and then it kind of popped up out of nowhere. It's funny, those things happen. So a little bit of what tonight we could talk about. When the world ends, or should have been when your world ends, does it really end? So why do I start talking about this? It's kind of weird. Well, it's basically thinking about, okay, what happens when it all ends? And you can take this in several different ways, and I'll take it through the different ways, and we'll go from there. So you really don't think about it till it comes. But, you know, I'm one of my greatest lines, quotes, whatever you want to call it, is preparation is the greatest tool for success. So if you're prepared, you're going to have success. So, you always hear it on commercials, like for life insurance, for, reverse mortgages. You get a loan, get the cash, and pay it off when you're gone. You hear about, what should I leave the kids? Well, what kind of, what should I do with my stuff? But do you ever really think about what should you do with you? Okay. Bet you never really thought about that. So there's a couple different ways. There's the traditional coffin going into the ground. Very traditional, very, very nice and traditional. People get to see you at the end of your life, but they get to come together. They get to find out about you, because some people sometimes hear somebody passed, show up, maybe they hadn't been talking to them for a bit, and then they kind of are like catching up with everybody else, what was going on, what was happening. Oh, I didn't know this about them, I didn't know that about them. So it's a very nice way for kind of like almost like a party. There are some that are called like celebration of life and stuff. I don't really like that term. No, you celebrate your life at your birthday. Celebrate your life throughout the years. This is a celebration of your passing on. They should call it that instead. So there's that traditional way of doing it. There's the urn. You get cremated. This is more for, I think, efficiency, and you don't want to be a burden on people, and other certain reasons for that. So you would just, maybe have a wake real quick, then just get passed on, taken home, like a shelter pet. You still got to take care of it. You keep the urn clean, make sure everything's okay. It doesn't get knocked over and stuff. Like there's still stuff to do with it after. So a little more efficiency with that. There's another way. The mausoleum. I'm looking into that. And going to be above ground. Don't want to be underground. Little more expensive. A little more planning to do before it all comes to an end. So it's a little bit more hands-on, preparing, situating stuff, if that's a word, I don't know. Little more existence beyond the realm. There's also a good reason for this also. If the zombie apocalypse happens, you're there. You're ready for it, okay? You just come out of the coffin, walk around, do what you got to do, eat some brains, I don't know, whatever touches the moment at that time. You're there. You're ready for it, okay? All those other saps, yeah, they got to dig out of 6 feet of ground to get up and about. Then they got to go find the brains and eat it. Plus, with the mausoleum, you get to hide weapons in them. So when the zombie apocalypse happens, you wake up as a zombie, you get your weapons, and you start going to town on town. How much fun will that be? Won't it be fun? You need to be angry. Take your anger out. And you're already dead, so you're not dying, so it doesn't matter. That might be the way to go. So, something to think about, something to kick around. Definitely different ways to go at the end. And you always want one person. If you got to pay this person to do it, definitely it is worth the money. Have one person. All right, this is how you explain it to this person, whoever the person's going to be. You walk up slowly to the coffin. You look at the coffin. You faint over the coffin and you start screaming, crying. Best money you will have ever spent in your life. It is the greatest thing ever. Everybody stops in that room and looks. Everyone is glued to that moment with you and whoever that person is. And they will sit there for the next few hours if they need to try to figure out who the hell that person is, why the hell are they crying over you, and what the hell is going on right now. It is the best money ever to spend for the end of it. I'm telling you, just do it. Do it for the people there, because I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but do it for the people there. It is the best thing ever. It's better than that scavenger hunt will that people started joking around with. And, oh yeah, I just buried it under a tree in Kennebunkport, Maine. Just take a shovel and go fucking unbury that thing. Like, what? That was stupid. That was just retarded. Okay, we've got escape games now. You just do that shit instead. So, definitely have the crying person at the funeral, the wake, whatever. That is definitely worth the money and investment to do that. Especially if nobody knows who that person is. That's the best part. I don't know why somebody hasn't opened this as a profession and a company to be the crying person at the funeral. When nobody knows who it is, that's the greatest part. Everybody is trying to figure out, when did they not know you? Because you must have met this person then. It is the greatest thing to do. So, moneymaker idea for somebody out there if they want to try it. Greatest part of a funeral. I love it. It's the greatest part because you're literally just there, like what is happening right now? Somebody grab them off the take them back, take them to the bathroom. Okay, who the hell was that? Who? No, they're not on your side, right? No, they're not on that side. Like, wait, is it like a third cousin? Like who? Was it somebody they met college? Like what? I, I don't know. I don't know who this person is. We got to figure it out. That's the greatest mystery for a funeral. So go with that. Go with that. So that's the end of you. So the end of the world is something that is talked about quite a bit. Pulling up an article here. That's exactly what I wanted. Okay, good. So, I think as far back as I can remember, because I went to school in the 80s, so it was around then, and I'm sure it was around before me. Oh, hold on. Skip back to the previous article. We have a great comment. In the past, this is from Mary Jade Skywalker. I hope you're not watching The Acolyte tonight. Spend your time watching this show because The Acolyte just garbage now. Okay, Mary Jade Skywalker. In the past, you could always hire professional mourners. I did not know that. I didn't know there was a racket already for that. There's a market. I did not know that. I'm going to look into that. Professional mourners. Okay, I'm going to look into that. And I'll try to figure out how much it is. What do you have to do? What do you have to be? Like, can you just show up for somebody? Like, that's interesting. I'm curious on that. Okay. Skipping back ahead. So the end of the world is something that was always talked about. Like, how's it going to end? What's going to happen? Are humans going to be there? Here's my thoughts on that. So, the world's age is, if I can find it real quick, I believe it's billions. Yeah. So, it's estimated that the Earth, this planet you're on, that is spinning. If you want to argue flat Earth, let's do a show. We'll argue it, but we're saying the Earth is spherical, kind of egg shaped, and it spins. So we're saying that. It's estimated to be 4.54 billion years old, plus or minus 50 million years. Okay. 4.5 billion, let me say it like this, 4.543 billion years. So the 50 million is that 4.3. So it could be 4.5, it could be 4.49. But 4 billion years. So let me explain that to you like this. Okay, you've got hundreds, you've got thousands, you've got millions, and then you've got billions. Okay? So that's what we're talking about in the Earth. There we go. Now, man has been on the Earth for quite a long time, right? Think we can agree on that? Quite a long time. Okay, so Man, and there are a lot of different species, so we're just going to take a rough estimate on this basis, is anywhere from 2 million to 7 million years on the Earth. Okay. 4.5 billion versus 7 million. Big difference. Big difference there. Okay. So, like I was saying, back in the day, they would talk about this, what was going to be the end of the Earth. And they'd come out and they'd say, it's going to be in 10 years, it's going to be 20 years, it's going to be 50 years, it's going to be at the turn of the new century, all this jazz. And one of the things was overpopulation. Overpopulation was going to be the problem. And we are now in, where are we at? 2024. And overpopulation is not the problem right now. As I talked about on several shows, we are actually having a problem with underpopulation right now. Certain regions and sectors of the world are actually losing population right now. Yeah, some of the big ones too. China's losing population, Japan's losing population, America's losing population, England's losing population, Germany is losing population, Kenya is losing population. Well, how do you know Kenya's losing population? Well, Kenya is starting, or has started, a program to bring in European donors to get Kenyan women pregnant. So apparently, there weren't enough people in Kenya to keep the population up. They had to outsource. So, okay. So I guess overpopulation isn't going to be the issue that takes it all down. Okay. Yeah, I've seen a few reports say, hey, we're not having as many children anymore. Started, China with their one-child policy. If it was a boy, that was your one child. If it was a girl, you could try again. Hopefully you get a boy. So now they're starting to lose population on that. So that's something to think about. Okay, maybe it won't be overpopulation. The Earth seems to be able to sustain who we have on there right now. So there was also something that I believe people used to hear all the time with the cans of aerosol. A lot of aerosol cans back in the day, people would spray it. Oh my gosh, you're releasing chemicals into the air. It's destroying the ozone layer. When the ozone layer is destroyed, then we're going to burn up from the UV rays and it's going to kill us all. It's going to end the planet, all this other great stuff. When's it going to happen? I don't know, 30 years from now, it's going to happen because everybody's using this stuff. Oh, okay. Really? Okay. Let's check this little headline here. Scientists said the recovery is gradual and will take many years. If current policies remain in place, the ozone layer is expected to recover to 1980 levels before the appearance of ozone hole by 2040, the report said, and will return to normal in the Arctic by 2045. 2040, so that's what, 16 years away. So if you have a child now, by the time they're driving and everything stays basically the same, the ozone layer will be rebuilt. The ozone layer will be rebuilt. So, interesting. I guess it's not going to be the ozone layer that's going to destroy the Earth. Maybe what, a meteor? Well, there have been several meteors that were set to hit the Earth. One I believe was about a month ago, around the 19th or so. I kind of had my calendar marked, wasn't paying any bills, just in case. Just in case. Didn't come close enough for us, so you know. Here's my thought on this. I'm gonna wrap this up real quick. Yeah, I don't think that planet is going anywhere anytime soon. 4.5 billion years it's been here, and man has been on it maybe what, 0.1% of the time it's been here. So I really don't think like man is going to destroy the Earth. Earth may destroy man, but man will not destroy Earth. So I think you're okay if you step back a little bit from the global warming, climate change. We need to stop driving cars. We need to eat bugs because the cows are farting too much and the methane is destroying everything. I think you need to take a little step back on that, okay? We got facts. We got science here. That I think the world's going to be okay if a cow farts a little. Okay? I think we're going to be okay on that. I think it's all right. You can have that double quarter pounder. It's going to be okay. You don't have to, drive your Subaru in front of me at 20 miles under the speed limit with your I climbed Mount Washington sticker on it because you're trying to save the economy and the environment. Well, you know what? It's okay. Burn that gas a little. You got money. You're driving a Subaru for crying out loud. Those things aren't cheap. If I see you driving like a Mini or something, which is also not that much cheap, you should have got the Honda Civic. Much cheaper, much economically better, much environmentally better. But again, environment's okay. Environment's okay, people. Eat your burgers, have your steak, enjoy it. It's going to be okay. So, is the world ending? No. Is man ending? Possibly. If we stay on the track we're going, and we start eliminating kids to, right now, I think we're at 2.3 per family, per couple. We get it down to like 1.2, 0.8. You could really actually see the world depleting of humans. So what would that look like? Well, I think we had a sample of it during COVID. I was just watching some videos from 2020, the year 2020, just to kind of like remember like how people reacted to some of this stuff. And it's so funny because a lot of people that first week in March or so and going into April, they were like, oh, we're just going to close for 2 weeks. Just the 2 weeks. It'll be okay. We'll come back. It'll be all right. Don't worry about it. Yeah, those 2 weeks turned into sometimes 2 years for people. But we'll get into that in a whole nother topic. But what was happening while nobody was around? Places were shut down. You were told not to travel. You shouldn't go see family. So what was happening then? Well, there were stories. News stories. Dolphins returning to the canals in Venice, Italy. Whales coming into harbors, coming into ports. Uh, there was somewhere, animals were just kind of like strolling through cities. Elk and deer and bears. There's no cars, there's no noise to shoo them away. So they just started taking back the land. So that's my theory behind that, is that man releases another virus, creates some weird thing, kills us all off. The animals will just take the world back. So you'll just see more vegetation growing, more animals roaming. The concrete will just kind of disintegrate and break up and eventually just go back into the ground. It'll just kind of be like a natural world if you watch that on National Geographic and stuff. Crazy stuff. So could we see it? Perhaps. Man is not the brightest creature on the earth. But, you know, there you can take the good and the bad. So that's the bad. That's the what would happen if it all went bad. So let me tell you what would happen if some good came back. Well, there was an article written by a technical prophet, as he's being described in the article. Crazy comment. Okay, comes in. We have a bear here in Lakeland. Yeah, I was not going to say it. We have a bear here in Lakeland. Bear here. What is the bear doing? Is the bear just there for vacation, or is he actually doing something? Is he trying to hit the Dairy Queen? Like, what is he doing? I'd like to see what's going on with him. Okay, so found an article. I'll share it here. Share here. Of the Daily Mail. Yes. On the on news, but okay, there we go. We'll bring this up here. A little too far. Let's see if we can get rid of some ads. Oh my gosh. Ad buggy. Yeah. Okay. So many ads. Okay. Tech prophet who predicted the iPhone years in advance makes alarming forecasts for coming years. So there's going to be some good stuff coming down the pipeline. So we're gonna look over this. Headlines are: after 2029, humans will begin to merge with machines. That's going to be interesting. Dead people will come back first as simulations, then as printed living bodies. That's crazy. This article is by Rob Waugh. I think that's how you say it. For Daily Mail, it was in on July 6th. God, this thing is so buggy right now. Holy crap. We're going to try to get through some of it because I do want to see some of his predictions and stuff and interesting topics to talk about. So it says a tech expert track record of predicting sea changes in the industry has made several eye-popping new tests in a new book. Google's Ray Kurzweil famously predicted the iPhone era and the fact that a computer would beat someone at chess by 1998. In his new book, The Singularity is Near, Kurzweil predicts that humans fully merge with immortal cyborgs by 2045. Whoa. That's crazy. Yeah, sorry about it. It's buggy and it's kind of moving stuff around a lot. See if I can move this down a little, get past these ads, and we can kind of. It's just so ad everywhere. That is just what. Okay, so there's Mr. Kurzweil. Okay. There's Mr. Kurzweil. Let's see what's up. Okay, so singularity is the idea that artificial intelligence will eventually surpass human intelligence, fundamentally changing human existence. Kurzweil writes, babies born today will be just graduating college when the singularity happens. Eventually, nanotech will enable these trends to culminate in directly expanding our brains with layers of virtual neurons in the cloud. In this way, we will merge with AI. These are the most exciting years of our history. The dead will come back to life. Kurzweil believes that AI technology holds the promise to bring back the dead. Hold on a second. It is jumping a little. Oh, crap. Hold on. There we go. All right, we can get rid of some of these ads there. Might help it a little. There we go. Kurzweil attempts to bring back his father, who died when Kurzweil was 22, using AI, began more than 10 years ago. So, would you want to bring back somebody using AI? Interesting stuff. Kurzweil created a replicant of his father by feeding an artificial intelligence system with his father's letters, essays, and musical compositions. He writes, we are already creating through our digital activities enormously rich records of how we think of what we feel. And during this decade of technologies for recording, storing, and organizing this information will advance rapidly. Yes, maybe catch up. There we go. By the end of the 2020s, Kurzweil expects highly realistic, non-biological recreations of people and then living bodies. He writes, eventually replicants may even be housed in cybernetically augmented biological bodies grown from the DNA of the original person. Kurzweil predicts that humans will move into artificial bodies more advanced than what biology allows, and that by the 2040s, it will be possible to make a copy of a person. Okay, this is why I'm building the mausoleum. If this comes true, what he's talking about, they can take a portion of me and rebuild me and put me back. They'll bring me back to see what's going on in modern day world. Might be interesting. Might be interesting. Humans will become a million times cleverer. Kurzweil says that we are about to enter the fifth epoch of intelligence, where man merges with machines, triggered by the arrival of human-level AI and brain chips like Elon Musk's Neuralink. If you've never seen Neuralink, it is simply a chip with kind of an antenna inputted into the brain and is helping quadriplegics be able to move stuff using their mind. So it'll kind of take the electronic signal, the electrical waves in your brain, transmit it to get things to move, things to happen on the screen, kind of like clicking your mouse and everything. It's really cool stuff. Go check it out if you haven't. The Neuralink, really cool stuff. Kurzweil believes that in the years after 2029, human intelligence will multiply millions of times over by human beings connecting directly to machines. There we go. It's getting a little bit better, a little less buggy. Okay. A little less ads down here. He writes a key capability in the 2030s will be to connect the upper ranges of our neurocortices to the cloud, which will directly extend our thinking. In this way, rather than AI being a competitor, it will become an extension of ourselves. This is coming crazy. Immortality begins in 2030. People will begin to achieve escape velocity for immortality by 2030. 2024 now, Kurzweil predicts. This will be backed up by huge leaps forward in health treatment. He writes that by 2030, AI biological simulators will do clinical trials in hours rather than years, leading to new drugs and longevity treatments. Backed up technologies, which he describes as the fourth bridge, where humans can back themselves up using technologies. That's going to be crazy stuff. That's going to be crazy stuff. We're going to move up a little. Life will become cheaper and easier. Kurzweil believes that technology will revolutionize daily life with robots able to build skyscrapers incredibly rapidly with help of 3D printers producing building parts. Other AI-driven breakthroughs will break down the price of solar power through breakthroughs in photovoltaics, cutting the price of energy. Meanwhile, breakthroughs in robotic extraction will drive down the cost of mining raw materials. So the robots are taking over, but if we are losing population, then robotics can start filling in, and they're not taking over jobs that people were working because nobody was working in those jobs. So it might be a good thing. Might be a good thing. This one. Entertainment where we feel every thought. Human brains will be upgraded by nanotechnology, enabling new forms of entertainment. Kurzweil says that entertainment will eventually put every thought in someone's head into yours. He writes that brains will be upgraded by harmless nanoscale electrodes inserted into the brain through the bloodstream. Very, very scientific stuff. Like, for anyone who's old enough, if you remember, the future was flying cars and spaceships and everybody taking off and doing stuff instantly with computers and everything. This is the future. This is what could happen in the future. So we're just looking ahead. It's crazy stuff. And I think that's the end of it. I think that's the end of it there. It is buggy as hell. If you want to go read it, Daily Mail from July 6th. Great. Kurzweil was his name. Check him out. So that's the good. I'm not angry at that. Surprise. That's why I have my plans that I have my plans, because if this stuff is there and can bring me back for more than a day, don't do that. Well, if you had one more day with the person you love, would you want to? No. It wants to be around for just a day. No. You want time. You want time again. Time is one of the most valuable things in the world. So if you could have that person back, have a DNA replicant clone of that person, images, memories, everything put back into that person, and could talk to you again, I think it'd be awesome. I think it'd be great. Bringing back people that you thought didn't have a life, young people that passed away quickly, bring them back. I'm not saying it's going to be perfect. I'm not saying it's going to be like nothing happened, but something to think about. Something to think about. Like I said, if they say, listen, I die in 2029. Okay. I'm there. 2050 hits. Hey, we can bring this guy back. He's just right there for 100 more years. Bring me back. I want to see what happens. Now, I don't want to be like RoboCop. No. I don't want to be just thrown into a computer or machine. No. I want to be able to feel if some of my tissue is gone, we can do cybernetic enhancements, but I want my consciousness in my body, most of it, put back so that I can see another 100 years, see what happens, see what goes on. I think it would be interesting. I think it would be time travel like to do it again for another 100 years. Really interesting stuff. Really interesting stuff. So, as it said, when the world ends, does it really? Now, maybe. But in the future, it might not end at all. All right, so we're coming up onto the hour. Let's get through some comments. Wandering around. Yeah, the video was really laggy. I do apologize for that. There's a lot of ads on there, so it does kind of mess it up a little. My computer's not the newest either, so it kind of didn't help either. But if you want to read it, it's on the Daily Mail from July 6th. Check it out. See what you like on it. Mary Jade with another comment. He should read I, Robot by Isaac Asimov. I'm pretty sure he's already read it. Pretty sure he's already read it. He did predict the, iPhone technology and everything. So he works at Google. I would say he's got a pretty good eye on what is being developed right now, that he can come up with pretty good idea of what might happen. It may not completely happen, but I think if you're in that field, you're gonna kind of know what's what and what's going on. Okay, so okay. Talking about the bear. Oh, the bear is just wandering around. Okay, all right. I did notice the screen was a little wacky. That's why I thought it was that. So the bear is wandering around Lakeland, Florida. If you are in Lakeland, Florida watching this, very close to Orlando, about 45 minutes away, watch out for the bears. They're trying to steal your picnic baskets. So be careful. Be careful out there for the bears. One more comment. Isn't that the plot of Blade Runner? Is it? I've never actually watched that movie. I mean, a lot of stuff that they tried to do in sci-fi from that time was trying to predict the future. And so when you have people now trying to create stuff, they think like, what did we think we were going to do? Oh, we were going to do this. Okay, well, let's find out how to do it. So you kind of reverse engineer what you thought the future was going to be. So it could have been the plot. I don't know. Speaking of angry men, Harrison Ford was in Blade Runner. I heard he can be an angry man. They were doing reshoots for the Captain America movie. And he had to go back to Georgia to do the reshoots, and he was pissed. Probably even angrier than I can be. So, shout out to that angry man, Harrison Ford. He's an angry man. We're all a bunch of angry men. So, yes. Shout out to him. All right. That clears up the comments. Once again, I want to thank everybody who's watching this live, watching it on the playback. You guys keep the lights on. This is why I do it. Feel free to throw in comments after. I'll talk about them on next Tuesday's show. And like I said, this channel, all the shows we do on this channel, is going to be dropping YouTube live. And we'll only do shorts on YouTube and basically clips on YouTube. So if you want to watch the full show, grab the Rumble app or get on X/Twitter and just look for the Angriest Man in Orlando and sign on there, and you'll be able to watch the whole show live or on playback. And then YouTube will just be the clips, and that'll be starting next week, next Tuesday. So you'll still be able to catch this Saturday night's show on all the channels. We'll do it one more time. So thank you to everyone watching. Make sure you're hitting the like. Make sure you're hitting the subscribe and follow so you get that little ding so you know show's on. And feel free to share. I don't have any copyrights on this stuff right now. I'm not against it. It's advertisement. It's advertisement. If you want to share it to your friends, let them watch. Go over it with them. Go for it. Enjoy it. Have a blast laughing at me. I don't give a damn. I'm just angry all the time. So I'll see you guys next Tuesday for the Angriest Man show. Saturday nights are the Women Make Me Angry story time, where we read a fun little story and get a lesson. And then there's Two Men in a Room if you want to watch that too. So lots of stuff. Keep you entertained. Have a great night, everyone. And as always, stay angry.